We're excited to share the new yeast functionality with you in Ollie Ops. On your brew day log, you'll notice that you have a new tab at the end called Yeast. When you click on this, you can choose what yeast strain you want to add to your beer. First, click on the drop down, and any yeast that's sitting in inventory is something that you bought via the purchase order. This cost is fixed and cannot be changed. So we're going to choose our London diastill-free yeast. You can choose how much you want to pitch. We have a 10-barrel batch. And you can choose what generation you want to start at. Hit save. And now this cost of your yeast is going to your final cost of goods in the batch. If we bring down our cost breakdown, you can see the cost of all our grain. And down below is our yeast cost at $140.60. When we brew our next batch, we'll skip forward to the yeast, and you pitch the yeast. You can choose to do another fresh pitch from inventory of what you have bought, or you can pull a yeast pitch from another tank. It tells you what yeast strain you're looking at, what generation it currently is sitting at, what tank it's in, what beer it's in, and then the cost associated with that yeast right now. So we're going to pitch from our IPA to another IPA. We'll pull a half barrel. And in the system, it automatically bumps you up one generation. And now you can choose any cost up to $140.60 or whatever your cost of yeast is to move from this batch of beer that this yeast is currently sitting at to this current batch that you're brewing right now. So let's say that we want to spread our yeast out and have about $10 in every batch. We're going to bring over $130, hit save, and now this cost is now associated with this batch 32 of IPA. If we go and look at it, you can see our yeast cost is $130 for batch 32. And if we go back to batch 31 and our cost breakdown, you can see we initially had $140.60. We pulled out $130 to go to batch 32, and now our cost of yeast is now sitting at $10.60 in this batch. It's up to you how you want to spread around your yeast cost, and there's a lot of variables to how you want to handle your yeast, but we give you the flexibility of doing it whichever way you'd like. You can also now create a yeast brink in the system. If you go to your tank view and select tank, you can have a yeast brink. So we can also pull yeast. So if you go in and transfer yeast, we want to bring it to our yeast brink. You can choose how much barrelage you're bringing over. It will up it a generation, and this works the same way. You can choose how much cost you want to bring from one batch to the other. Let's say for our lager strains, we want to keep $20 to each one. We'll now move this. You can see we have our chill Berkeley yeast sitting in our yeast bank at 1 barrel. And if we go to our cold pills and go to its cost breakdown, you see we initially had $157.44 of yeast. We pulled out $137. So now with this batch, we have $20.44 associated with our yeast strain. We hope you enjoy this new function. We think it will help a lot with spreading out your cost of goods and get a more accurate depiction of how much you're spending on your beer.